there was some hope that we're going to see some really exciting reveals from Fan Expo 2025. Maybe Marvel Legends would reveal another member of Alpha Flight since this event was in Canada. Or we would see something really exciting from the Classified series, potentially something really interesting from Star Wars. We didn't really get that. We got one re release of a character I've already gotten that I'm pretty intrigued with, and then some badly needed alternate options for people who missed out on another San Diego Comic Con exclusive, and then one that just kind of leaves me cold. But let's talk about all these reveals from Fan Expo 2025 right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. Happy Saturday. Hopefully, you're enjoying your weekend and not glued to social media expecting some major figure reveals. We didn't get any of those today, but there were some sightings over at Fan Expo Canada 2025. And this one is pretty interesting, because I'm always looking at these like, gosh, these celebrities make so much money doing these things. And it's like, wow, remember the millions of dollars you're paid in the movies to do them? Not enough. But I will say that some were kind of interesting. There are a bunch of celebrities and some where it's like, man, if I wasn't just so totally opposed to this concept of paying people get paid way more money than I do, I would be all on this. But there is one that's kind of intriguing. So you can see Bitsy Tulloch. She's got a pretty cool one. She does a Grimm duo, but she also does a Superman one, which is kind of cool. So it's her, Tyler Hoechlin, Michael Hedlund. So you get Superman, Lex Luthor, even though it's a really bad one, and Lois Lane all together. That's pretty solid. And then there's another one. This was the one that I think if you're going to spend any money, this would be a really cool one to do. So Erica Durant's Lois Lane from Smallville. You get one with her, Kristen Cruick, Lana Lang, Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor, a really good one, Laura Vandervoot, Supergirl, and Tom Welling. So you get Lois Lane, Lana Lang, Supergirl, Lex Luthor, and Superman. So that is solid. And, I don't even know what the translation is to US dollars, but that sounds like a pretty cool once in a lifetime kind of setup because you can get 5 members of cast in a photo. We're not here to talk about those. I just thought that was pretty cool. Let's talk about the figures. Let's start off with Marvel Legends. First up, the cartoon version of Mysterio. In this one, man, the details are really lacking, but this is what he looks like in there. So this is what we got. And it's interesting. I actually like the way they did his globe here. Some of the other ones had a translucent one with a little fog in there, but this one looks cool. This is more of how I think of Mysterio's globe. Not enough to plunk down to get this figure. We've seen Mysterio release basically with this same look 3 times. I think maybe the difference here is the belt, but everything else is pretty solid. We've already seen this. And here you go. This is his unmasked portrait. And this is kind of cool. This one goes, I assume, right underneath the helmet, which you can't see because of the way it's done. The lack of details, I mean, it's accurate to the cartoon. It's just not really exciting in terms of, oh man, look at what they did here. And there's another one. You can actually see that unmasked portrait. That looks pretty good. And it's one of those where it's like, this would be kind of fun to use for random goon in your background or your diorama set. But I mean, we really don't need to see Mysterio's head in any other way. So maybe this is one Hasbro will re-release out to us later in a different figure, but that wouldn't be too bad to see used again. Here it is with the, this one kind of shows the slots for the helmet, which is unfortunate, but this is that really creepy, oh, what's underneath the globe kind of thing. And I love these effects for him. I think those were really cool. Maybe I can repurpose them for Crystal Ball. That'd be kind of fun. I'm pretty sure he has some green ones, so that would work too. Anyway, so Mysterio's lacking detail. This is accurate to the cartoon again, so it's nothing to really complain about. And I know there are a lot of fans of these animated figures on that retro card. Keep them MOC. That way you've got all of them lined up just like this. And I think for this presentation, that's cool. I always love the colors of this retro card, Spider-Man animated series setup. So that's cool. And, got a little billboard deal for the character with the spotlight on him. So that's fun. He's going to be coming out as part of Walmart's big collector con, so Walmart, yay, will my stuff be canceled or will it survive through this pre-order? He's regular price $24.99. Pre-orders will go up October 9th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned if you're interested in that one. Then next up, just want to show you because our guy Dan, for context, we did not do a ton of reveals at the other conventions in comparison to San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con typically is our big convention of the year. We'll be going to a couple more cons for the rest of the year. So there are more. You've seen one of these already, but let's go to them here. Let's see if Dan has the other photos of him up here on his. Not yet. So let's go to this guy. Strong guy. Now, this one was released as a Build-A-Figure many, many, many moons ago. So I understand the need and desire to re-release this figure. This makes sense to me as opposed to some of the others where it's like, we just got this figure before. But this is cool. And this is not a direct re-release, repaint of what we've already gotten. For starters, both of these head sculpts are new. And I love these head sculpts because these are absolutely Larry Stroman's take on Strong Guy. This one in particular is just so great. And then we got the Grimace one. Lots of personality here. Now, the one thing that's missing is the smiley one, because with either of these head sculpts, the thumbs up, hey, it's me, Strong Guy, doesn't quite work as well. But you can see he's massive, and they did a great job of this sculpt to start because it's got his unique physique down just fine, where he's got the big hulking shoulders, the tiny waist, the bigger stumpy legs. But I thought they did a really good job translating that design to figure form. He was one of the more fun Build-A-Figures to complete because it was like, oh man, this is coming together. And we had Havoc, we had Polaris, and Multiple Man a little later on. You can see what he's got. A new accessory. This is the first time we're seeing this barbell and a little bent, just to show you how strong he is. He's got a lot of plates on there, bro. But this is a fun accessory. Definitely something you could use with Hercules, and She-Hulk. So that's fun. You've got some extra use for that. So he's got a thumbs up, gripping hands to hold the barbell. Then he's got fists. That's really all you need for him. Not disappointed there. Just in case you were curious. So there's some actual differences. Now, like I mentioned, this one had that really great smiling portrait, so that's still useful. And the one thing that I was looking at with this new Strong Guy, looks like the yellows aren't going to match because for whatever reason, they were on this yellow orange kick for so many of these yellows back in the day when this figure was released. So not quite a pure yellow for Havoc and Polaris. Feral, I think, is a little bit different. Why am I saying Feral? Wolfsbane, that's crazy. We're getting Feral. We don't have her yet. Wolfsbane. And then you can see Multiple Man, Jamie Magix. His yellow is a little bit different from there. And it looks like Strong Guy is going to be much lighter. He's going to be an actual yellow, which is going to cause some problems in terms of matching him with the rest of the team. Maybe these are just super brightened up photos. We'll see. But you can notice here that there's some actual differences between how this one looks versus the last one we got. For starters, this was all silver on that one. So let's see if I pull that in so you can see this is all silver. The zipper here was not painted on this one. It's covered there and it looks really nice. There was white here. This was all one solid color, just that yellow and the red X behind him. So he's going to match up with your Wolfsbane figure, even though Polaris is not. It's just all over the place with that. Actually, it looks like for here, the yellow on red is accurate. I don't know why hers is white. Anyway, so we're going to have all kinds of confusion with our X Factor. I'll need to pull up a photo just to show you the comic book to see which one is actually accurate. I have a feeling it's the one that Havoc and Polaris have. Here's another look so you can see here. You can get some fun photos with Strong Guy. He's a great character. I definitely feel like he's going to be worth an upgrade just because he has new accessories. He's got 2 new head sculpts, and I feel like some of the engineering might be a little bit different. It looks like maybe this torso, now that I'm looking at it, might allow for a little bit more movement and range on side-to-side poses. Now, let me take a real quick pause so I can pull up an image of how X Factor should look. All right, so here we go. Pulled up a picture, and like I thought, the yellow with the red is actually accurate to how it was done. So Polaris is right, Jamie Magix is right, Havoc is right. You can't quite see with this image. So for whatever reason, they didn't paint Wolfsbane, her X circle, correct. And this is one of those people are going to go, oh man, they never can do anything just perfectly right. So I don't know why they didn't change this and make that accurate. But you can see here, his shoulder pads are all silver too. So it's really interesting. They gave us a new strong guy, but then they've introduced some errors to how it should look. So that's really odd. I do still like the new head sculpts, but it's weird, really weird, just in the sense of like, man, why did you introduce problems? Even the zipper is all yellow. And maybe that's just a thing of, hey, the details for a figure versus a constant having to color those zippers would be a little bit annoying for a comic book look. I mean, everybody has the yellow zipper, unlike his, so it really stands out. It's really weird though. I'm surprised they introduced a mistake. Anyway, so that's our two Marvel reveals. We've got some more expos and cons, so hopefully we'll see some more that we needed and not just a bunch of repaints. Now let's move on to the two Star Wars Black Series reveals. Not a lot from this one, so that was kind of surprising. I was hoping to see some Transformers in G.I. Joe. That was not the case. But for Star Wars fans, this should excite you because anybody who missed out on that San Diego Comic-Con set, Revenge of the Sith, they got you covered, and it didn't really take that long. Anakin, he's the fifth one in Revenge of the Sith. Now, I might be a sucker because I'm kind of like, well, maybe. I mean, he's going to have a cool mural, and I did get the Comic-Con one, but that's kind of neat. I like those mural designs. And here's Obi-Wan. So he's number 4 in the series. So you've got Obi-Wan, you've got Anakin. If you've missed out, they really sped up getting these solo versions to everybody. One thing I did note, people were already seeing these online and going, no extra heads, no extra hands. This sucks. Hasbro's always getting over on us. This is one of those deals where it's kind of like, well, this is why they did the big exclusive. I mean, these figures are going to be 25 each. That exclusive set was 100. So, you got to pick your battles on this one because it was a huge difference in price. And you can see here the figures do look really good. Good head sculpt on Annie, and that's solid stuff there. So that's really cool. He turned out really nice. And here's Obi-Wan, great head sculpt as well. Nice work on that end. But for those of you curious, here's at $109, which is now sold out, exclusive from San Diego Comic-Con. And I don't know if all these accessories are worth an extra $59, but I did get it. I'm a sucker for this movie. I love it. And I really wanted this deluxe base. I knew going in, they were going to have these solo versions so everyone could get them, much like they did with Star Killer back, I want to just say last year or 2 years ago. So we knew this was coming. It's not a big surprise, but there are a lot of extras here. So there's the smaller, somewhat in motion blade, the medium size, then you got your large blade, you got your force hands, so you can do that moment from the film where they're like pushing the force hands against each other. And then you see they've got separate head sculpts, a little bit more in the midst of battle kind of deal. Let me get a zoom in there. So these are the ones that look like they come with those figures that I just showed you. And here are the more battle weary versions of them. Anakin's looking a little bit more intense. He's got the blast effects. So when they clash their lightsabers, you got that. I don't really remember what these are, but I mean, that's the difference between 109 versus $50 for two figures sets. So, I mean, it's not a whole lot to complain about, I guess. If you wanted that exclusive, yeah, that's certainly one thing. It's like, I wanted all this stuff and it's sold out. I'm like Cold Slither, which I can still pre order, but they've got you covered. Thankfully, they didn't take forever. Let me pull up one more thing because I forgot to tell you all when everything else is going out. So, Strong Guy, you're not going to have to wait very long to pre-order him. You can get him next Tuesday, August 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. He is a deluxe figure. He's not a maximum series, so he's not going to be $50. He's $40, so that's not too bad. I think that's a decent price, even though they introduced mistakes, which I still am just amazed at. Then both Anakin and Obi-Wan are also going to be up for pre-order on Tuesday. $24.99 regular price. They're going to be on Pulse and their other exclusive partners, Entertainment Earth, maybe Amazon, maybe at Toy Store. So there you go. But not a bad set of stuff for people who missed out on that Revenge of the Sith set, for people who long ago missed out on Strong Guy, even though I think the old one might be better since it's more accurate to the comic book. But these two new head sculpts are certainly something that have my attention. Ditto for that cool barbell dumbbell setup. So that's cool. Let me know what you think. Are these figures that got you excited whatsoever? What? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of House Figure Files has been filed.